my feed this week. One or two are excited about AI, changing this classroom practice. The others are like, AI is an illusion, don't do it, be careful. And I don't know about you, I go from enthusiasm one day to doomer the next. I'm sure you've gone through many of those phases of grief as well. But there's really two narratives about AI that we're going to explore to try and focus on education.
So Shany is my name. Nice to meet you all. I'll float around the room after and get to know you and what you're working on a little bit later, because that's what I pride myself on in my classrooms, whether I'm speaking to kiddos or adults. I just like to know who I'm chatting with. So today we're talking about moving ChatGPT over and including MathGPT in our lives. I am an 11th and 12th grade math teacher. I teach over at Montgomery High School. I am 3 and financial algebra. I love it, it's a joy. Yes, math, we love it. And today we're gonna talk about how to use MathGPT as a tool, because this is me right now. This is how I feel when I try to use certain tools, especially AI tools, to accomplish my job. The syntax is clunky, I'm trying to create a quiz, or even material to showcase to the students, and it's taking me 20 minutes on this one formula. It shouldn't be that tough. I shouldn't be spending those 20 minutes on that job. So, have you or someone you love ever felt this way? Give me a little head nod if so. You are not alone. Let's see if we can change that with MathGPT. So yes, ChatGPT is great. Formative is great. All of these tools have a time and place. MathGPT, I believe, is really valuable at generating multiple exam versions with accuracy and good mathematical syntax. There are plenty of MathGPTs, so before you try typing into a specific one, I'll show that to you in a moment and we'll get practice with it. You will be able to visualize complex equations and produce solution keys for both yourself and your students. All right, so if I do a good job here today, you will have the answers to these questions. Number 1, how can you create different copies of math worksheets? Maybe you're a little more old school and you don't want to use formative on the computer. You want to print out a math worksheet with a beautiful formatting, not necessarily, no hate on formative, but not necessarily with their formatting. MathGPT is lovely for that. Different exam versions, yeah, once you have one great version, even if it's just in a low-key Google Doc and you took 3 different Google images, let's spruce that up and make 4 different exam versions. And producing professional visuals to go alongside your slides, also really great. So as I said, I like to know who you are. I hope you'd like to know who I am, sharing some of this content with you. My name is Shany Yeshanov. I get to keep this last name for 1 more month. I get married in a month, so I'm very excited. These are some things about me and what I like to do. I would like for you to take a look and see what catches your eye, and do you know where any of these photos were taken? I just like to get classroom involvement. So raise your hand if something catches your eye and why it catches your eye, or if you know where one of these photos may be taken. If you could say your name, yeah, we'll have a volunteer or 2. Yeah.
Montgomery?
Montgomery High School?
Yeah.
Which photo?
The bottom?
This one?
Yeah.
Ooh, we're actually on the sand in a spot in Pacific Beach. Great guess. And we're celebrating my birthday, which is January 1st. Love it. What was your name?
Joanne.
Joanne. Thank you for volunteering, Joanne. Awesome. I do teach at Montgomery High School, though, so fair guess. What else pops out? And we love incorrect answers, because now I got to talk about that. Yes, what's your name?
My name is Melody. I teach at Olympian High School.
Amazing, hey.
And what catches my eye is that amazing swing. I have no idea where that is, but it looks amazing.
If you had been there, you would know it. It's a spot in Ecuador, and it's called Baños, which does mean bathrooms or shower, right? But yes, it's Baños, Ecuador, which is like the adventure capital of Ecuador. And it looks a lot scarier than it was. There was a platform that I just got to jump off of with the swing, and there was a seatbelt. Yes, in Ecuador. You may be noticing a site with ruins, Machu Picchu, Peru, yes. So these are some things about me. I studied at UC Santa Barbara. I got a computer science degree. I I should have been able to set up the tech, but you know what? We had somebody else willing to do it. No one to sit back. I do have a trivia company that is now not active, but it was before I was teaching, hosting at different bars and restaurants. And now I have a tutoring company, which is active and goes really well with the profession of teaching. So it's enough about me. Let's chat about MathGPT. This is the one. There are several other ones if you were to type in MathGPT in Google. So I'll give you guys a second just to get this typed in right now, since it is on the screen. Math-gpt.org. Math-gpt.org. I don't have these slides available for you at the moment, but they are all linked in an agenda.
Yeah, in the agenda.
They're in the agenda, so if you have access to the agenda, you're good. Thank you for asking. But type into your browser math-gpt.org. You don't need the HTTPS. And when you have it, give yourself a little pat on the back so that I know that you've succeeded in that effort. Yes, and we're proud of ourselves. We've accomplished our first task in this session. Math-gpt.org. You should see this square root symbol in a blue circle. Awesome. All right. What are we going to learn about MathGPT? Well, we'll learn how to use it. We will learn when to use it and when to use other tools. It's not perfect for everything. It's not a one-stop shop, just like all the other AI tools. So who knows this tool? Yell it out. Does it look familiar? Formative. No hate on formative. And let me show you this. It is pretty cool. This is an existing IM3 progress checkpoint that I learned about through Angel Prado. Shout out, Angel. It has been very useful to implement formative in my classroom. I'm able to see real-time results. Where are the students in the middle of an exam? Who is struggling? Who has just an F or who has an A? While the exam is going on. However, when I type in this parabola that's been shifted left 3 and down 5, and the solutions that could be accurate or not, it took a long time. Just this one question took me about 15 minutes. I'm really embarrassed to say that. And I know that when you get more practice with it, you get more fluent with it. But I prefer to copy paste. Formatting and formative to me is just a little bit too clunky. I do like to print out my exams anyways, so I'm not getting that real-time feedback. But you can go from one or the other. You can take something you already have existing in formative, copy-paste that into MathGPT. If you had something in MathGPT, sure, you can use that as a tool now to put it into formative. So sure, use both tools. This is what the UI looks like. So once you're logged in, we'll talk about the free version being good enough. Once you're logged in, you can just copy and paste a math problem right into this. You can also math input it the same way in as you do in formative, but it's a little less clunky. And you can have a full-on word problem with A, B, C, D. You can zoom out of a PDF and get even like 2 or 3 pages worth of content. You can throw a whole PDF in there. A lot of options here with MathGPT. So if you are on the website, you'll see this. There's a lot here. What we're talking about today that will benefit both you and your students is step-by-step solutions. We're going to focus on just this, even though MathGPT can do more. So some of us are math. Actually, let's take a poll in this room. How many of us are math or math adjunct related teachers? Okay, great. And for those that didn't raise their hands, I'm curious, what do you teach? Or if you had a half raise, I think I saw a half raise here. What do you teach?
I'm teaching Spanish, I'm teaching computer science, I was teaching math.
Super.
Maybe
Okay.
biology eventually.
Amazing. Biology, computer science, you can definitely use some of this in there. Maybe in Spanish too, but I haven't seen a use for that yet. Podemos hablar en español después. What do you teach?
I teach math. I'm a co-teacher, so I'm special education, but I'm a co-teacher for 7th grade math.
Fabulous, and this could be a really great way to visualize some of those topics or explain it in different ways. So let's say a student's given this problem. Cool. If you forgot how to do this, that's all right. MathGPT is here. We know that we want to take care of negative exponents, move them to the bottom. Well, MathGPT is going to provide you with 3 steps of how to do this. Let's talk about what the rule is. Let's show an example of the rule formally shared. Let's show the word, and let's get to a final answer. It's very digestible, and it's very clear with its syntax. This is something you can straight copy and paste into 3 different slides. Take a second.
Question.
Yes, please.
Can you determine the level of the explanations? For example, 7th grade, 9th grade, or 12th grade?
That's a great question, and I encourage more questions as well throughout this session. Yes, just like in ChatGPT, where we had that poster of how to create an AI prompt, same thing here. You can say, I teach a classroom of 7th graders. They don't have the concepts fully baked yet. Please help me create an exam or 10 practice problems just like this one, copy pasted. Yeah.
Will they translate to Spanish for the kids that do not speak English?
I haven't tried that yet. I would love to find that out after this session. Let's see together when we go into our work time. Will it translate to Spanish? Great question.
Also, I'm guilty of trying to use ChatGPT to create math problems. Is this actually accurate? So for example, like I was asked, give me 10 problems of 2-step equations with whole number solutions. It would give me the 10 questions, but then there were not whole number solutions at all.
It's so frustrating.
It is, and I said, you're wrong. They're like, oh, let me change it. No, you're wrong again.
Again and
Yeah.
again, and maybe it creates the correct problem, but then not the correct solution. It's very frustrating. I will give you that. This is a wonderful tool for that. And it is accurate. I have spent countless hours here. You always have to check, always double check, but for the most part, this is a very accurate tool.
Because it shows graphing, everything.
Yes, it has Desmos built in on the side. You guys, I can't wait for us to jump in. So this is our hook. I reeled you in, I hope. Let's keep that going. Now, you just saw the first 3 steps of this basic problem. I actually created a 1-question exam that had several different exponents, like 20 different exponents on top and on bottom, and MathGPT handled it. Other AIs were unable to. I tried 3 different AIs. So MathGPT handled it. And then I did appreciate that there was a 4th step here. Yes, it's optional. I mean, I don't consider it optional as a math teacher. I really do appreciate having no negative exponents. So it is nice that there are different ways of teaching this and saying, well, you did get the correct answer and here's more. One thing that's also really nice, I know it's small in the back, but the second sentence says, a negative exponent means, and then in quotes, put me on the other side of the fraction bar. This is so digestible. We're not even using the term denominator. We're not saying, multiplying by the reciprocal or the positive reciprocal. This is so digestible both for teachers and students. Again, when encouraging note-taking, I have my students actually write quotes like this in their own words. What did it mean to flip a negative or to put it on the other side of the fraction bar? So I just want to showcase how digestible this information is with a quote like that. And I didn't even ask for it to produce a quote, it just did it for me. Lastly, on this specific example, I didn't ask for this either. It just generates these 3 options for you of what else you might want to do with this type of material. Do you want to create more practice questions, tests, or provide a video that you can put in your Google Classroom stream? Oh my gosh. Yes, Jonah Hill feels exactly the same way I do. Okay, so again, my last math problem I'll share with y'all on this fine, sunny San Diego morning. P to the -4 over P squared. It is a little small, but doesn't matter. It can create these examples for an exam for you. And let's say it's a worksheet or an exam or a student just working alone and coming up with their own problems. And they get stuck. They say, hey, I had that -4 in my numerator. I know I'm subtracting my denominator. How is -4 minus 2 a -6? Because I saw that both B and C are answers. Well, they can type that, how does this work, as follow-up questions and receive more information in their own words. So here it describes in 3 beautiful ways. I like to use when I tutor with students or I'm teaching in the classroom, a number line. You know, we learned that a while ago, so let's use it. If I'm at -4 and I need to get more negative by 2, that's a great way to think about it. Or maybe using money or thinking about it in another way, especially if you're modifying curriculum, like the same sign rule. So I love that we have different ways of expressing things, and it's built in here. And again, it is so digestible and accurate. Okay, my last few slides here, and then we're gonna just have time to jump right in rather than, I chose not to split it up and then reconvene because I will be floating around. I did expect a smaller group of people. I'd rather you have a little bit more make time. So I do need you to know there are other tools that students are currently using. You probably know these, PhotoMath, Mathway. Are there others that are really popular right now that I don't know about? ChatGPT, they really try with ChatGPT and then they get wrong answers. So I've been encouraging my students to use this as a tool to support them. That will help better guide them. In these screenshots, they don't really provide step-by-step explanations, and they're wrong. So some of your FAQs, is it free? Yes, it is. And honestly, the free plan is good enough. You don't need more than that, that's right. Who can use it? Everybody. It's great for even chemistry. It's got a lot of physics problems baked in as well that you can use. How accurate is it? Impressively accurate, seriously. I've tested so many different AIs. I'm very pleased with this one. How is it different than regular ChatGPT? It's built specifically to recognize and solve math problems. And there's the image to solution support. You can put in very complicated college level problems into this, and it is accurate and efficient. Doesn't take a long time either to produce the answers. You're not spending time waiting. And then the best practices, as you guys know, we just have to say it. Encourage students to try on their own first, and then to back it up with this. I do have a tutoring company. It's called Productive Tutoring. We service all of San Diego. I do in person, I do online, and I also have a team of tutors that I work with. And this is something that I encourage my team of tutors to use as backup, especially when we're online and have double screens. It really helps you teach efficiently when you know for sure you are going in the right direction. And as a tutor, you're seeing things all the time that maybe you've never seen before, or maybe even learned before. So you're on that journey with the student, and it is very helpful to make sure that you are getting the correct answer and using this to diversify your instruction. That is everything I have for you. I'm going to be floating around as we jump into MathGPT.org now that you all have it on your screens. Before we jump into MathGPT.org, I and the organizers would really appreciate you filling out the feedback form. And instead of just a dedicated 15 minutes Q&A, let's float around. I'll help you with the tool if you need it, and we'll come back at the end for a Q&A. So stay here, play around with the tool. The feedback form is right here. Hopefully it's big enough. And we'll get to play around with the software.
Let's try this.
Grab an existing worksheet or exam is my recommendation. Throw that into MathGPT and see how it does. All right, let's get to it. Feedback form and playing around. Thank you.